there, welcome to this episode where I share mindset shifts to help you run your business with ease and create a business which feels good to you. And today I feel inspired to talk about perfectionism, and the reason why I feel inspired to talk about this was because of yesterday. Basically, yesterday I was in the middle of writing for my new Done For You morning routine workshop, which coaches can conduct with their clients and sell their replays. I was in the middle of writing that. I think I was at lesson 4, and then it struck me that many of us business owners are rather hard on ourselves. And perhaps as business owners, we have created morning routines or routines and habits which we hope will make us more productive. And when we do not follow through with those routines or habits, we may, quote unquote, beat ourselves up, or we feel really discouraged and disappointed in ourselves. So that's why I want to talk about that today. And I think in the past, the 5 a.m. routine was really popular. I think it even evolved to become the 4 a.m. routines, and all that. And I think last year, the Dr. Huberman, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I think the Dr. Huberman daily routine was really popular last year. And that routine actually involves intermittent fasting, getting sunlight first thing in the morning, and also doing workouts, getting a power nap, and scheduling deep work sessions throughout the day. So perhaps as a business owner, you may have tried these routines, you may have tried some other routine altogether, and we may or may not be able to stick to them because they may or may not suit our lifestyles or suit our temperaments. And I just want to invite you to be kind to yourself and not be perfectionistic when it comes to routines. When it comes to routines, it's really helpful to be flexible. If you are a hustler, most probably you will not like this podcast episode, and you will not like my podcast in general. I just want to invite you to be flexible when it comes to habits and routines, because what works for one person may not work for you, and that is okay. The 5 a.m. routine may not work for you. Maybe the 4 a.m. routine doesn't either. Maybe you prefer to start your days at 7, and that's fine. Everyone's circumstances is different, so let's just be easy on ourselves and not be perfectionistic when it comes to routines and habits. All right, so what does perfectionism look like as a business owner? There are 3 main signs according to my observation. First sign is being slow when it comes to publishing something, launching something, producing something. If you take too long to create a course or too long to create a product, it may be a sign of perfectionism. Or if you're someone who takes too long to create a podcast episode or create a YouTube video, that can also be a sign of perfectionism. It could be that you are obsessing over every single detail. If you are running a YouTube channel, maybe you're obsessing over the YouTube thumbnail, obsessing over your setup. Like, for example, I have a very simple setup here. This is just one of my rooms, nothing fancy. Maybe you are obsessing over the TAGs, the text that you put at the bottom of your videos and all that. If you feel frustrated with yourself for being too slow when it comes to launching or producing something, it can be due to perfectionism. And I am a victim of this as well. I think I take too long to create my Done For You workshops. I wish I can create them faster. I feel that I take too long to create them. Currently, I am writing my Done For You morning routine workshop. It's quite a straightforward workshop. It shouldn't be taking me too long, but it has been taking me weeks. So I think my perfectionism is also coming into play right here. Another sign of perfectionism is overthinking. So if you are someone who overthinks every single detail, this links to the previous point. If you're overthinking every single detail in your business, you're overthinking even small things which do not matter, that can also be a sign of perfectionism. And let me share with you something. I am in the process of launching a low-cost membership to help you run your business better. It involves social media, and I am currently just doing crazy amounts of research about which platform to run this on. Should I run this membership on my blog? Should I run this membership on my Shopify store? Should I run this membership on a separate platform altogether? The research I'm doing is insane, in my opinion. So my perfectionism is coming into play again. And I need to work on that. And just make a decision and move on. Part of the reason why we are overthinking is because we don't want to make the wrong move. We don't want to choose the wrong decision, and then which means we have to do more work down the road. Maybe we have to move our courses and move our materials from one platform to another. I think that can be something which is the fear of making mistakes, can be something which is causing perfectionism. Another sign of perfectionism is having an all or nothing mindset. If you're launching a course, for example, and you feel as though if this launch fails or if nobody buys it, it's a waste of my time. Or if this video doesn't get 100 views today, it's a waste of my time, or I'm a failure. So if you have this all or nothing thinking, it can be very stressful and it can also lead to perfectionism. I've also met someone like this recently, and this person says that they do not want to try this new technique or this new strategy because if it doesn't work out, it's going to be a waste of my time, she said. And that is an example of all or nothing thinking, because when you are running a business, making mistakes is just part of the journey, whether we like it or not. It doesn't feel good to make mistakes, let's face it. Well, it's part of the journey, and it teaches us lessons. So we can treat mistakes as lessons. Sometimes mistakes can be really expensive lessons. If you have bought a $2,000 course and that the course content is not worth the money, that's a lesson for you. It's an expensive $2,000 lesson. It has happened to me before. Anyway, the next question you can ask yourself is, when does perfectionism crop up in your life or in your business? Does it crop up when you're creating high-ticket products, or does perfectionism crop up every time? Does it also crop up when you are creating videos or when you're creating low-cost products and free products? So this is one thing that you can think about. When does perfectionism crop up at work? If it crops up all the time, I think this is something you may have to work on. If you stress about creating a podcast episode or a YouTube video, which is essentially free and is supposed to be helpful for others, this is something you may want to explore. Why do you feel this way? If you have stress when you're creating high-ticket products, I believe that that's justifiable because you want to deliver something of value to your customers. But if you are stressing over creating free products and free lead magnets, we may have to shift our mindset a little bit. Another question you can ask yourself is, why is perfectionism cropping up? Do you have a fear of failure and fear of making mistakes? Do you grow up in an environment where you'll be scolded or chided if you make mistakes? Do you come from a work environment where mistakes are not tolerated? Or do you think that making mistakes, or if something fails, you equate that to a waste of time and a waste of your effort and a waste of your energy? So why is perfectionism cropping up? Do you also have a fear of criticism or a fear of judgment? Are you fearful of criticism? Are you fearful of people criticizing the way you speak, your accent, your content? So sometimes fear of judgment and criticism can also slow you down, and it's also due to perfectionism. So these are some questions that you can ask yourself. How can we release some of our perfectionistic tendencies? I've always mentioned that being aware is the first step towards this. Being aware that you have an all or nothing thinking, fear of failure, and fear of criticism is the first step that you can take to release some perfectionism. And another way that you can release your perfectionism is to experiment. This feels a little bit scary, but you can try it and see how it goes. So if you are someone who usually scripts your podcast episodes from A to Z, from beginning to end, you can try one episode where you don't script everything, but you do everything in point forms, in bullet points, and see how that works out for you. I used to do that. I used to script out my episodes from beginning to end, and it's very time consuming, but well, you get flawless episodes and you don't have to edit too much, It has its perks as well. However, it can be really exhausting, and I feel that when I record my episodes with just point forms, it sounds more authentic and it sounds more relatable. So that's why currently I've been just doing point forms when it comes to my podcast episodes and videos. And back to the topic here, that is just one way you can experiment and release your perfectionism. If you are someone who scripts your coaching calls, you can try just one coaching call where you do not over prepare, just a few point forms, and see how it goes. It's scary, I admit, but that is one way that you can release your perfectionism. One way you can release your perfectionism when you are creating videos is to use tools such as Riverside, Descript, or Loom, where you can edit your videos in a text format. So it's very easy to edit your videos that way. And this makes me less anxious when I'm recording videos and recording podcast episodes, because I know that I can easily edit things out and delete things out if I see the wrong things or if I cough in the middle of my episodes and all that. This is something you can explore. Look for tools which can reduce your anxiety when it comes to running your business. All right, so it's time to get your journal out, and you can ask yourself these 4 questions. What does perfectionism look like to you as a business owner? When does it happen the most? Why does it happen to you? Is it because of your upbringing, your experiences, or past experiences, or your mindset, or whatever it is? It's time to explore why it happens and how can you really solve it so that it helps you in your business, so that you can run your business in an easier manner. Thank you for joining me in this episode. See you in my next episode. Goodbye.